What's up, everybody? Welcome to my not so much of a guide, but more of an overview of Demon Hunters. This video is mainly just for anybody who did not pre-order Legion and does not have availability to the Demon Hunter, so you can see what it's all about at the moment. So I'm just gonna go over what abilities they have and use them so you can see them. Um, there's not really much to show along the lines of stats and gear. Basically, you can just kind of look at the gear that you get, and you get these through invasions, which is the new thing in Tanaris, Ashara, Westfall, Dunmorrow, and all of those areas. There's now demon invasions, basically where you just go kill demons and you get gear, and you also get, if I can find them, you get nether shards, which is how you also get gear and other things from vendors in Orgrimmar or Stormwind. So first, I'm going to go over talents. There's only two talents at the moment, which is your 99 talent and your 100 talent. And of course, the rest are at level 102, 104, 106, 108, and 110. So for your 99 talent, you have Fell Mastery, Chaos Cleave, and Blind Fury. Fell Mastery increases Fell Rush damage by 50% and grants 25 Fury when Fell Rush damages at least one target. So that's not too bad of a talent. You can use that for AoE in a battleground, or if you're PvE, you can just rush through a group of trash once it's already AoE'd by the tank and do 50% extra damage and generate 25 Fury. Chaos Cleave is what I normally go with, and I will probably go with that when I switch back over to PvP, because right now I'm just doing PvE with looking for raid and demon invasions. So Chaos Strike hits an additional target for 50% damage, so I like that better. Right now I'm running Blind Fury. It increases the duration of I-Beam by 50%, and the reason why that is I-Beam is a very overpowered AoE ability, and it basically just shoots a beam out of your eyes and you hit all the targets in its path, and it's very strong. So with the fact that its duration is increased by 50%, that's a good thing. So that means I-Beam goes longer and does a lot more damage. So that's the reason why I use it right now, because of PvE. Then you got your level 100 talent. You got Prepared, Demon Blades, and Demonic Appetite. Prepared, it reduces the cooldown of Vengeful Retreat by 10 seconds and generates 40 Fury over 5 seconds if you damage at least one enemy with Vengeful Retreat. And Vengeful Retreat is basically just like Disengage for hunters. You just jump backwards and you do a little bit of damage when you use it, and it also slows your enemy by 70% for 3 seconds. So that can be a decent talent because it generates 40 Fury over 5 seconds, which is a good thing, and it reduces the cooldown by 10 seconds. Demon Blades I don't really like because it replaces your Demon's Bite, and your Demon's Bite is like your main ability. It's like Mortal Strike for a warrior, and instead of having like Rage or Mana for Demon Hunters, you have Fury, and Demon Bite is your main Fury generating ability. So Demon Blades replaces Demon's Bite, and your auto attack has a 75% chance to deal additional shadow damage, and that's how you generate your Fury. But I feel like it's a lot slower of a process generating your Fury, so I don't really like it that much. Demonic Appetite is what I go with because Chaos Strike has a chance to spawn a Lesser Soul Fragment, and consuming any Soul Fragment grants 30 Fury, so it just gives you a big boost of Fury. So basically having as much Fury as possible is the best you can do, and just spamming Chaos Strike is what you're going to do most of the time. So I will go over the rest of the talents, and of course the honor talents once we hit level 110. I will make a Demon Hunter PvP guide once we get to 110. And of course I almost forgot to mention that there is the Havoc Demon Hunter and the Vengeance Demon Hunter. I may try out Vengeance with PvE, but I obviously will never go with that in player versus player. So right now I'm just gonna stick with Havoc, and of course when my guide comes out for PvP, it will be a Havoc Demon Hunter. Alright, so now I'm just gonna go over the abilities and show you what they basically do. Like I said earlier, Demon's Bite is your main Fury generating ability, and it does a little bit of damage. Chaos Strike is basically where all your Fury is going to go, and it just slices your target for 33,000 chaos damage, and critical strikes refund 20 fury. So of course if you crit, that's good because it refunds 20 fury. Next is Blade Dance. Blade Dance is a pretty interesting ability. It's an AoE ability. Basically, you fly around slashing everybody in your path. And as it says, strike all nearby enemies for 27,000 physical damage and increases your chance to dodge by 100% for 1 second. So that can be a good thing that your dodge is increased by 100% for 1 second. If you're getting just trained, you know, you can try to get away from them as quick as you can while you have that extra dodge. As I said earlier, Eye Beam is basically just a beam coming out of your eyes that hits all targets around it, and it's very, very overpowered. Blast all enemies directly in front of you for 60,000 chaos damage, and Eye Beam always critically strikes, so that makes it even more overpowered with the fact that it always critically strikes, so that is a great ability. Throw Glaive is basically what it says. You basically just throw your glaive at somebody and do some damage. So if you're trying to, you know, kill somebody, if they're trying to get away, you can throw your glaive and try to execute them with that. Fel Rush is your mobility ability. Basically, basic way of saying it, you rush forward, incinerating anything in your path for 21,000 chaos damage. So you jump forward and you do a little bit of damage. So that's the only way you have to get away as a demon hunter, unless you want to use Vengeful Retreat too. It doesn't make you jump back too far, but you have 2 charges of that. So then you have Consume Magic, which is basically just your spellcasting interrupt. Then you have Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is basically your version of Recklessness that warriors had, and basically you leap into the air and you come down with Explosive Force, dealing a little bit of damage, which it says 12,000 chaos damage, and then you stun them for 3 seconds. And then also, upon landing, you turn into a Hellish Demon, which basically you look like Illidan. And for 30 seconds, you are greatly empowering your Chaos Strike and Blade Dance abilities and gaining 25% haste. So basically, in a nutshell, you do a little bit of damage and stun them, and then all your abilities like Chaos Strike and Blade Dance do extra damage, and then you get 25% haste. And that haste is a gift from the freaking heavens, because you hit so much faster. So when you're spamming that Demon's Bite to get all your fury, that haste is really getting that Demon's Bite up. It literally has like no cooldown, so you can build up that fury real quick and then hit Chaos Strike and just annihilate your target. And of course, when you use Metamorphosis, the name of your abilities change, which Chaos Strike turns into Annihilation and Blade Dance turns into Death Sweep. So, but they basically do the same exact thing, and they just do a little bit more damage. Then you have Chaos Nova, which is your stun, and it unleashes an eruption of fel energy, stunning all nearby enemies for 5 seconds and dealing 9,000 chaos damage. Next, you have Imprison. Imprison imprisons a demon for 1 minute, and damage will cancel the effect. So the only thing you can obviously use this on is a fellow demon hunter, or if a lock has a pet on you and you are about to die and you're trying to get away, you can imprison their pet and run away. So that's definitely a great thing to have. And of course, I already told you what Vengeful Retreat is basically just like a hunter's disengage. You jump backwards and you slow them by 70% for 3 seconds and do a small bit of damage. Then you have Blur. Blur increases your chance to dodge by 50% and reduces all damage taken by 35% for 10 seconds. So it's basically your defensive cooldown. Then you have Spectral Sight. Spectral Sight is probably one of my favorite abilities, just because it kind of screws over rogues and ferals, because when you use Spectral Sight in a battleground or in any situation, you can see a feral or a rogue when they're stealthed. So their stealth is just irrelevant now. So that is just amazing to me. And then you have Darkness, which is basically just how a rogue can put out that dark field and stealth everybody around them. That's the same thing Darkness does. Okay, now I'm just going to show you what the abilities look like, so that you know what they look like until you get Legion. So first, of course, I'm going to show you Fel Rush, which, like I said, you just jump forward and do a little bit of damage. And that's how you travel. You can jump in the air and use it. And that's probably one of my favorite abilities just because of the mobility, and it does a little bit of damage. Then you have Demon's Bite, which of course is just a basic little slash. And then, of course, Chaos Strike is just a slash that does more damage. Just jumping in the air like that. Blade Dance is pretty cool because, like I said, you fly around slashing all your targets like this. So if you're in a big mob of people in Battlegrounds or anything like that, it's definitely a cool ability to use. I'm going to skip over I-Beam until I use Metamorphosis, but that's, of course, Throw Glaive is just throwing your glaive. Chaos Nova, your stun, basically just looks like a bunch of Fel energy coming out. Vengeful Retreat, like I said, is just like in Disengage. And now, of course, I'm going to use probably the coolest ability you have, which is Metamorphosis. You jump into the air and land, turn into a Illidan-looking demon, and you just do more damage, and you can see Demon's Bite has no cooldown because of that haste. And then, of course, I-Beam, the most overpowered ability you have. Just look how badass that is. That is just amazing. And, of course, you can see the crits are a little bit higher because of the extra damage that Metamorphosis does. And then Spectral Sight actually looks really cool too when you try to see anybody who's stealthed. You have this Fel Fire around your screen, and then of course you can see how all this stuff is red. You can see anything that is stealth, which is amazing. And you kind of tiptoe around just like a rogue. So basically that's all I really have for you guys. I will be coming out with a guide once Legion does come out. Real quickly before I end the video, of course, if you haven't seen it yet, this is the mount you get in the intro for Demon Hunters, which is the Fel Saber. I think it looks pretty cool. If you did pre-order Legion, you get the Fel Stalker, which I didn't very much like, but I'm honestly not the biggest fan of the Fel Saber, but I'm not going to lie, it does look pretty cool, and it looks a lot better than the Fel Stalker. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Thank you very much for all your support. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe and share to your friends, and I will see you guys next time.